So now we're going to have a look at our first chord, which is the chord of E minor, and this is a really, really good one to learn first, because first of all, you only need 2 fingers, and second of all, it comes up in tons of songs. So let's see how it goes. So put your second finger here on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string down, that's the A string, and press down quite hard, and then your 3rd finger just below it, also on the 2nd fret of the D string this time, and the chord should sound like this. Just note that you've got the E string is open, the G string is open, the B string is open, and the E string is open. So now you've got the chord, you're probably going to have a few problems with that at first, so let's take a look at some common troubleshooting for this chord. Now, one of the things that can happen is you get this type of sound. You see there, what's happening is the open strings are ringing, but I'm not pressing down hard enough on these 2 fingers. Now that sounds good, but if I do this, it's not ringing, so just check that your fingers are pressed down hard enough, and also they're in the middle. You know, if you touch the fret wire here, it doesn't matter how hard you press down, it's not going to make a noise. So keep them in the middle and keep them pointy. Another common thing that can happen is if your fingers start to bend like that. See, now these 2 are ringing, but this isn't ringing because my fingers aren't straight. So the 3 tips I can give you is press down hard, keep it in the middle, and keep it pointy too. And hopefully you'll get a nice clean chord. So once you've sorted out all your troubleshooting and the chord is sounding good and all the strings are ringing, it's time to play with the band. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with a drummer and you're going to play with me. There's a little counting. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, the drums are going to do that. And we're going to play for 8 bars. So that's 8 times 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll pick it up as we play, all right? And what I'm also going to do for this is I'm not going to strum 4 times. I'm just going to let the chord ring. And the reason for that is just so you can tell if all the strings are ringing. If you're playing your chord and it's sounding like this over the drums, that's probably not what you want, all right? So just 1 strum and try and get everything ringing. Well done, you're doing very well. Hopefully you can play this E minor chord and all the strings are ringing and you can play along with the drums too. That's very, very good. Carry on the good work. Now, the next thing you want to do to make it sound a bit more professional is do a little trick. Well, what can we do with this E minor chord? One of the little tricks you can do with this E minor is called a hammer-on, and it sounds like this. So this makes it sound a bit more exciting than going. So how do you do that? Well, what you do is you take your finger 2 and 3 and you actually hammer on to the strings. I'm doing that like that, you see. At first your fingers might feel quite weak and they might do this without any sound, but just practice hitting the strings like that. And once you get the hang of that, see if you can add the strum before and then add your fingers so you get this sound. So what you want to do with this is don't do it too much. If you do it on every strum, it kind of takes away the specialness of this technique. So just throw it in there now and then.